3%,
Right
right?
now, yeah, it was the last couple of deals I've done have been like it's between 7 and 9% in
Like,
that range.
what does it cost to like cut a point? Because you always would buy real estate, but also like take points off, right?
Yeah, you can buy points to bring it down, but then you start to get to a point of diminishing returns where it doesn't make sense. But I was buying it as an investor, so obviously, if you buy it as an investor, it's always going to be a point up just off of that alone. It's going to go up a percent typically.
Right.
But if you're buying it as a homeowner and you're going to live in it as your residence, you'll probably get around 6 or 7.
Yeah.
At least when I was buying. Right now, I don't know what the rates are exactly. But
They're coming down a little bit.
Probably, yeah. I would estimate somewhere between 7 and 9%.
Like I think long term, like I think Trump I mean, we can't go back to zero. We can't. It's inflation would go crazy.
You'll
right?
never see sub 3% interest rates ever again. Not for a long time.
Not for a long time, yeah. But he's gonna like if Trump is in control by middle of 26, which he will be, I think the Fed's fund rate's gonna be like 2%. So that means, good credit, you're probably getting like low 4s. On a 30-year,
that would be good.
Yeah. And that's enough. And then it's
pretty damn good.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about the other show. Is like we're gonna start getting a refinance boom in the real estate market, especially like.
Oh, yeah, he's been getting letters on that.
Yeah, like refinance, but like the deal has to be good enough because there's tons of people. Like that's actually going to be what fuels the next crypto bull run and the next stock market run. Is it's going to be real estate has basically been at a standstill since 22. Basically, right?
And no one can sell right now.
No one can sell. Yeah. So people are house rich, cash poor, and then some people, if they have equity, right? If you bought from 2008 or like let's just say 2009 to like 2018, 2019, you have equity.
Yeah.
You have plenty of equity now. Yeah. But
it should be double.
It should be double, right? But you can't. But if you sell it, you're like, damn, this payment's ridiculous. Sure, you have people don't want to get into an equal house they had in California, buy one in Miami, and they're like, dude, I'm paying twice the mortgage that I paid in California for this house in Miami just because the interest rate's so much higher.
Yeah,
buying an equal level level.
Oh,
house.
as you were saying, like them buying a house back in '08 in California and then coming to Miami is like
it's
like the damn near the same thing, if not more.
Also, prices are higher too. So rates high and prices high too.
Exactly. So we are getting some real estate prices coming down finally. The interest rate, there's going to be a point in time, I kind of think if the rates keep coming down, we're going to start getting a lot of refinances probably at the end of 26, and then probably maybe prices are done crashing finally by middle of 27, the summer, because usually the summer is where all the sales happen. Most people don't buy houses in December. It's just a terrible time in real estate to buy, because most people, they're emotional buying. They're like, let me see how this house looks in spring or in summer, basically, right? But if you Charlie's from Minnesota, right? Like who goes buys houses in Minnesota in December? It's all covered in ice.
Shit cold.
Yeah, shit's cold. Yeah. But I'm really bullish for the economy, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel especially for 27, 28, and 29.
Right.
The only thing that I'm worried about a little bit is what's going to happen in 28. Is it going to be JD? Or is it going to be is it somebody from the left? That's where I get I'm a little I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Dems steal money and they pump the markets, of course, on the stock market side, but they could spend the whole next 4 years trying to just take back whatever he did.
And that's why the number one most important thing in my mind of what they should actually set in stone in terms of law of what they've passed for executive orders and different things related to crypto is the anti-CBDC Act.
Right.
Basically, Trump signed an executive order saying during my term there will not be a central bank digital currency being created in the United States. Yeah. Right. And that's only an executive order. So if let's say the Democrats came in and said, well, screw that, Europe actually, between basically 2026 to I would say 31, somewhere within there, the EU is going to get a central bank digital currency. Israel's probably going to get one. The same company is making it, basically.
Not surprised they get one.
We had them in a webinar actually in the spring. The company that's made help to support.
Can you explain to the audience real quick what a central bank digital currency is?
It's dystopian. So it's basically
the simplest way you can for them.
Yeah, the simplest way is it's a stable coin, or it's a coin that's stable to that currency. So let's say it's
the dollar,
the US dollar, right? So if it's
a digital version of the US dollar.
It's a digital version of the US dollar, but created by the government, not created by a corporation. So it's that's the one that would be termed official, right? And so it's an official government currency. And what they can do with that is, well, the NSA, we know what the NSA is doing, right?
Yeah.
And so they can track everybody's money, what they're doing with their money. They can pause people's money. It's basically ultimate control if it was like a cashless society, as an example. So it gives them a lot more authoritative control and viewpoint into people's finances than even the banks are right now. Yeah. And so that's not good. That's not what we want crypto to be used for. And the reason why the EU is going after that is simply just because it's an easier way to control everything that's going on among multiple countries. Also, you probably got a lot of people who are like, well, what we could do is, let's say, for example, like in a dystopian example, let's say you're driving a Porsche to go somewhere and you're going to eat somewhere and you're eating like, grass-fed beef and all this stuff. And they're like, okay, I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to buy this at the restaurant. And they say, well, sir, actually, you've used up your carbon credits related to your central bank digital currency for the month. So actually, since you drove here in a Porsche, you can't have a steak. Or whatever it might be, right? Yeah. They could do something like that. So an authoritative or totalitarian type government would or dictatorship, right, would be happy to have that. But yeah, we have, and Saudi Arabia is the third country that's going to basically be doing that.
So EU, Saudi Arabia.
So EU is it fully implemented in EU yet, or
no?
Not yet?
So Christine Lagarde earlier this year, and she's been talking about this ever since she got into power there. She said October of this year is when they want to start having the laws passed that can happen.
That it could be used.
That could be implemented, okay. Yes. And then there's a guy named Richard Werner who's an economist who's through Germany, the UK, and he works at Oxford. He's also been in Japan for a long period of time. He had this really interesting documentary called The Princes of the Yen, and he's basically said the timeline of what you saw for the EU to get created is kind of a similar timeline for the central bank digital currency. And if you kind of compare those timelines, it would be between 2026 and 2032 where you get that, more than likely 2029, 2031. So why I was mentioning that is because if the EU gets it and then another party comes into power that's more aligned with maybe that type of philosophy, then they could say, screw that executive order. We're going to get rid of that. We're actually going to implement this because we can see that the EU the last 2 years has been doing this all right. So let's just copy that model. It's great. We can give UBI to people easier. They'll try to make it sound like it's good for you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're probably going to roll it out where, hey, you do this and we'll give you some money. And, normies are going to look at it like, oh, really? Yeah, it's way easier. It's cashless. So like, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, people like us, right? Because we understand censorship, we understand how the internet works and everything else like that. But normies don't have a grasp on this.
Yes, not at all. And I've been talking about this since 2019. People thought I was crazy.
Well, this is a bigger problem because now people are losing their jobs. They have no money. They need money. Yeah. So you offer them stimulus check every month.
Welfare.
Just hop on this.
Like welfare and all these government services, eventually they'll make you download an app. That's how they're going to force it to happen, especially in those countries, is you have to download the government app. That's how you're going to get your WIC. That's how you're going to get your welfare. That's how you're going to get your, basically your subsidies or maybe like pay from the government. And that's how they're going to start onboarding people into this. And the reason it's so bad is because it's mixing the NSA with Palantir. They're going to look at all your data, and as soon, just like we're going to demonetize you. Done, and they can turn you off. Now, the United States is not going to go. They're going to do it selectively at first, but there's other countries that are going to go way harder. China's been doing it for a long time. They've been trying it out for a long time. So, like, when you have total control of the economy, there's no real dollars anymore. There's no more real like physical dollars. Then, because it's all digital at that point, then they could say, the economy's a little slow today. All the money that was made in the last 2 weeks, you have to spend it before Monday, or it disappears.
That way they can control inflation a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, and they can exclude stuff. They can say, actually, and you can't spend it on electronics. You have to spend it on other stuff. And they can literally select what you can spend.
Remember, I don't know if you guys saw this tweet recently in the EU. There's someone that got arrested for reposting someone's tweet.
Yes.
And
in the UK? Yeah,
I saw that.
That's crazy, bro.
The two female cops when they showed up.
Just imagine being in jail for posting a tweet.
Yeah, that was a kid, right? That was a kid, right?
Now imagine you're a bank account. Yep. Even worse.
Yeah. Even worse. And I would say, like, EU is probably going to be the quickest to get it implemented. Israel and Saudi Arabia will be next because they can kind of just do it a lot more quickly. They don't have to have as many checks and balances.
Yeah.
But there's a politician from Minnesota called Tom Emmer. You probably heard of him. He's the whip, I think, of the Republican Party. And he's been actually a very good proponent and I'd say one of the few politicians that's actually very eloquent about speaking about cryptocurrency, understands it. It's not just somebody gave him talking points and said, hey, here's what you talk about. He actually looks like he sat down and understood this, and he said, as a nation, we need to make sure that this absolutely does not happen. We need to make sure that executive order gets turned into law, and if that happens within the next 3 years, awesome. Because what the United States is going to do instead is they're going to go into corporation-based stable coins, which are not central bank digital currencies. So one ultimate power is not going to be able to turn them off. You're going to be able to choose between a plethora of options like Circle, which is Coinbase, Also, PayPal has their own. Robinhood's probably going to come out with their own stablecoin. Different crypto wallets like MetaMask are going to come out.
But
with
the problem is if the government makes their own and forces you to use it,
then they have one choke point.
Yeah,
we're like
no. I mean, I can absolutely see how that would be very bad because the levers of control begin. So. Because here's the thing, I see where you guys are saying, like, because some people might say, oh, well, who cares? Like, allow it for people that want to use it. Well, the problem is that obviously a lot of people aren't going to want to use it.
Right.
And then they're going to, we need more people to sign up. And then they're going to find ways to force people in.
Yeah, it's 1984. It's the beginning of stuff like that, you know. So
you don't even want it to come in, even as a choice you think is bad.
No.
I agree.
The choice is stable coins. Right, that's perfectly fine.
Right. USD Tether, for example.
Tether, Circle, USDC, PayPal USD,
which is directly tied to a currency, a government currency already.
Yeah,
right?
it's a corporate. So the way that Tether does it, right? They have their corporation. They print digital dollars, but they do so based on how much value they actually have of dollars within their corporation. They recently hired Bo Hines, who was in the Trump administration, because he was actually behind the movement of the Genius Act that passed this summer, which allowed corporations to basically make stablecoins. It made stablecoin legalization essentially like regulated.
Okay.
And so now what you're going to see a lot of banks do, like JP Morgan, right? They're going to be like, oh, well, we're at the front of the money printer. We want to stay at the front of the money printer.
Right.
So they're going to aggressively do these things. And so Ethereum is the coin that basically all this is built upon. Like I said, the company, I won't name the name, but the company that made, that helped to fund Ethereum and Cardano back in, I think this was like 2015. They're the ones that are also helping some of this, the central bank digital currency go through. They're going to create some privacy stuff related to that. So, and then there's going to be that technology will probably be copied by a lot of other things. But the core point is that a lot of it's built on, or almost all of it will be built on Ethereum. And so that's going to bring a lot of, so the rule in crypto is whenever you have stable coins coming into an ecosystem, price goes up because you have money sitting there. Eventually that money is going to buy up Ethereum, buy up whatever assets are in that space. And so if you have Tom Lee, who's the head of this company called BitMine that's trying to own 5% of all Ethereum supply. He's basically talking about how many trillions of dollars are going to come into crypto just because of all these stable coins being created by these corporations. So, I mean, think about it, right? How much money does PayPal have? How much money does JP Morgan have? How much assets do they all have that they can be like, okay, we're actually backing the dollars that we're printing or that we're putting into circulation that people can use as like an IOU. We're backing that with actual assets that we have, sometimes dollars, maybe sometimes their own real estate, but they put that down as collateral essentially. And so when you get all that money coming onto Ethereum, right, it goes up a lot.
Yeah.
Long term.
Yeah, no, but I can absolutely see why people are concerned with the, central banks in general are create problems, but with the digital currency, oh god.
What I was told is to get your money up now while you still can.
Yep.
Trump is in office.
Yep.
Get 2 passports, one U.S., one outside, and run for the hills. Yeah. That's what I was told.
Well, you have to always be able to, yeah. Part of freedom is being able to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, wherever you want, right?
Yeah, you just got to have control of some of your money. Buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum. Like focus on those two mostly, and you can speculate. Let's make some money, of course, but long term, like every time the market crashes, like during the all-time lows, like during 2019 or during 2022, I bought Bitcoin and I bought Ethereum that I'm not selling. I'm just keeping it for a long time, and for a long, this is like a 10, 20, 30 year hold for me, and it's
for both your Bitcoin and the Ethereum.
Yes,
both 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, at least 10 years or more. I mean, before I take
10 years
profits.
from this point, or from when you bought it.
I would say probably from this point.
Yeah,
at this point, so like 2035.
2035 is when you're looking at maybe liquidating it.
Maybe liquidating a little bit or something, or taking some money off there. Or but it depends too what I'm doing.
No, for 10 years. He's
Are you gonna sell any like altcoins?
Yeah, of course you have to it's sort of like that Bitcoin caller that called in, the Maxi. Well, like there's times where you buy Bitcoin where it's I was trying to get people to buy Bitcoin below $1 trillion market cap, $52,000 and below. It went to 15,500, and we were trying to get people to buy 15,500. 20 grand.
How much was it last year at this time?
For which coin?
For Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. So I remember one time y'all came here when it was really low.
Yeah.
And we told everybody.
And people said, it's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Don't buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. It was low and you guys were all fucking freaking out, man.
70 grand? I think it was probably 70 grand.
I'll look right now what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It was funny.
All right, guys, by the way, we are going to open up the phone lines for you guys as well. 646-490-0394 is the number to call into the show. I don't know if it's open yet, Mo. Mo typically waits until to turn it to whatever, but we were going to finish chopping it up with the boys. Are going to open up the phone lines so you guys could go and ask your questions.
So September of 2024, $62,000 for $112,000.
It's doubled in a year, bro.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
And everyone's
That's normal for Bitcoin. So, this is a bull year for Bitcoin. I think because of what he said was, all the stuff